listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. You can text our show on 81215. That's 81215. Follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio, or email the show via the Absolute Radio webby.
Morning, Frank.
Morning.
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 Morning. You got rid of the Dalek thing. That's good.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, sometimes you speak and you're not. Your throat's not quite ready for it.
Yeah. I mean, that often happens to me during the day. When
Does it?
You know, if you've just got up and not... If I've been grumpy during the school run or something.
Happens to Theresa May during the conference.
It did.
I get it. If some people who I don't know obviously speak to me in the street, and I don't know they're going to speak to me, so they suddenly go, all right, Frank, and I go... I just
do you know what's awful about that? Yes, I said awful. It's the one encounter with you, Frank.
I know.
You've got to make that golden, yeah?
But if you're not expecting it and your voice has gone into a sort of arrest mode,
yeah,
it's not your fault.
Sometimes it's just like that, I sound. And then I've always thought that they're in the pub that night saying, I saw that Frank Skinner today. He won't have any... he's got no use for consonants.
I think they just say he's quite weird in real life.
They probably do, but, you know, it's like, don't spring it on me. Give me a chance. I want to talk to you, but I need a ramp. I've been filming this week. Yes. And I was sitting in the room... The chambre verte.
Yeah.
Chambre verte. The green room. And
yes, we get it.
Do they say chambre verte?
No.
Is that what would they say?
No one's ever said that before.
What would you? What do they say then?
I suspect the green room is potentially an English colloquialism.
No, but if they said the green room
colloquialism
in France, wouldn't they say chambre verte?
No, they just go sit over there. Shut up.
Okay, so anyway, I was in there, and I was talking to the guests on the show, and over my shoulder, I heard someone say, Frank was in great form tonight.
Lovely.
And I thought, come on. Really raised me. I looked round, it's my manager.
Oh,
well, I mean, he's paid to say that.
Did that mean... That didn't mean as much to you?
No, of course not.
Oh, that's a shame.
What else can he say?
Being sincere.
Well, he might have been, but...
yeah, but if he was...
It's a bit like when your manager likes your
sincere
posts on Instagram or Twitter.
Well, I just there's no point, you know. There's a sort of like which you're paying for.
Right.
And, well, there's many varieties of that. But, let's not discuss them all on breakfast radio. But, yeah, I was up and then I was down. But, you know, also people pay for that at, I don't know, Alton Towers, say.
Yeah.
Yeah. They, the rising and the lowering, they love that.
Yeah.
They'd have made great 17th century witches. They got that. They never really, the docking stall never really went into the commercial world of the theme park.
To be honest.
Well, it did take off, and then it came down again. So the idea is you were held under the water. I think they just took you down and brought you up again, didn't they?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It was a big deal in medieval times, getting wet.
It was, yeah.
Or they didn't like it. Is that where the phrase "you're in hot water" comes from?
No,
well, it was an enforced repeated swim, wasn't it, essentially? And it wasn't nice.
Ducking stool.
Oh, worse things. 8, 12, 15.
Is today's show going to have like a medieval torture device theme?
No, I hadn't even thought of the
If so, I hope we're going to play some Iron Maiden.
That's excellent work.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I remember the first time I met Ricky Wilson.
He's worked with them all. I said, I really like that. Julie.
And he said, it's Ruby. I said, yes, whatever, Ruby. He was sort of pleased that I liked at least the melody.
Oh, good.
You can't learn the whole lyric.
No, you can't.
No.
It's too much to ask.
Exactly. I was I went to a gig last night. I saw the comedian Tim Key.
Oh, excellent. Friend of the
yes.
show, I
At
think.
the Soho Theatre doing
How
a
was
thing
that?
called Mega Day. It's actually really brilliant. I'd very much recommend it. It's at the Soho Theatre. In fact, I think after I invited him to come on as a guest next week.
Did you?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's all supposed to go
we'll
through
see.
the producer.
We'll see you then, Tim.
But I'm not holding him to it. It was, it was after, post-show excitement.
It was what I call pub plans, Frank.
We were
Yeah.
both a bit giggly after the show.
Oh, good.
And it went. Anyway, he was. I don't think he'll come. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you. By the way,
Why not?
Some I did. By the way, I had. I took a pocket full of kumquats
Did you?
to the gig. Yeah. And have you ever took kumquats to a gig?
No.
I'll
It's
tell you what,
weird. It's a weird thing to do, I think.
You say it's weird, but
I'm sticking with it.
if that's weird, what about the life of Aleister Crowley, the diabolist? Anyway, I got a big fruit bowl this week. Whenever you start a television, I'm filming room 101 at the moment. You get a big fruit bowl day one, nothing day two, incidentally. But anyway, so the big fancy fruit bowls, they always fill in the gaps with kumquats. Kumquats is the sort of cement
Right.
Yes,
in
they're
the
like
fruit bowl.
sprouting, aren't they? Yes.
Yeah.
Lovely.
And in case you're not familiar with a kumquat, it's like a tiny orange that you eat, peel and all. First time I heard of him was a W.C. Fields sketch. When a blind man goes into a shop and asks for kumquats, and then walks around smashing the whole place up trying to find
I
them
love that
with his
sketch.
stick. Couldn't do it now, of course. We didn't know.
No.
We didn't know. Anyway,
Quite bitter,
They are
aren't
a
they?
bit bitter.
Acidic.
Blind men.
but that's because they're peel.
Outrageous. You'll get us thrown off air at this rate.
Yeah, you can't
Keep it to
generalise like
kumquats,
that.
will
I'm
you?
not saying
Not
some of them aren't.
all of
but you
them.
can't generalise.
Not all.
No, some of them are cheery.
Yeah.
Because Stevie Wonder, he's up, constantly up. Anyway,
Oh, wow.
they're just like everyone else. They're different. Anyway, so I had, I suppose I had 7 or 8 kumquats in my pocket.
God, that's a lot. What, you ate them all, did you?
What is an hour? It's an hour, over an hour, I think. The show, hour and 10 or something like that.
2
hour and
every
5.
15 ain't bad.
And what's brilliant about them at a gig, as you say, they're tart. They're very tart.
I like that tartness.
Because you don't normally eat the peel. It's made me a bit bolder with the old peel concept. I'm thinking I might take on a tangerine.
Good for you.
Imagine eating a tangerine peel and all.
Would you go orange?
Indirect. I know orange. One step at a time. Sweet Jesus. What I like about eating a tangerine or a satsuma peel and all is that they are now sold on the strength of being easy peelers. And it's flying in the face of that. So an easy peeler,
Yeah.
but you know what? I'm still not peeling it.
Yeah.
I love an easy peeler. I'm referring, of course, to that policewoman I went out to. And so,
I love the nod of recognition
yes.
now.
So anyway, they're
Frank,
great for gigs.
lemons?
Because, pardon?
Lemons?
No,
Okay.
that's too much.
Okay.
But the kumquat at a gig, they're silent. And that's what's great. There's very few things you can eat that don't make some noise.
Like, it's
Also,
not a mint
they were in
wrapped
the
up
pocket
its
of my fleece for extra silence. So I just took them out straight in the mouth. All the
proper stealth
activity.
snacks, isn't it?
Yeah, all the activities going on inside your closed mouth, so no one knows. And
Very
the pips, I just
Yeah.
left them on the floor in the theatre.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Thought
it's
you were
all
gonna
right.
say on the
People
arm
paid
of
to
the
clean
Hang
it.
on, are there pips in the kumquat?
Oh yeah.
I
You
didn't
can't
know
just have
that.
them. You can't just have them.
Pardon?
You don't want a kumquat tree growing in your belly. Is that the concern?
That'd be ridiculous. I don't want to eat pips.
You don't just eat.
I've got
You're
international
eating
representation.
You're eating peel, but you're worried about pips.
Peel is... Yeah, you're right. What am I doing? I'm eating peel and rejecting pips. I might as well take the whole thing on. Oh, it's like marriage. You can't cherry pick. It's kumquat pick. Anyway, pocket full of kumquats. That's the secret. I hope that didn't just cut out on someone's radio halfway through.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I'll tell you why I think Tim Key won't come on next week, because I broke the comedian's code somewhat. I don't know how you are with this, Al, but post gig. But I did that.
Now.
I did that thing where I said I actually had an idea for something you could do.
Did you?
Yeah. You know, sometimes you watch a comic and they say something and you think, oh, God, if you'd have said blah, blah, then it would have got a big... But with your own act, if you do that and it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. But if I think...
Yes.
He knows I'll be in now, in a week's time to see if he's added it.
Yeah. So it's another
But it did. Afterwards, I don't think our friendship will ever be the same again.
It's an awkward moment, isn't it? I think.
I hate it when people do it to me. Hate it.
Do you?
What is it sort of helpful advice?
Because it's sort of suggesting here's something you didn't think of, but I've thought of.
Yeah. And also it can depend on where you are in the process. Like I think his show's either finished or quite a close to finished work in progress. So if someone does it too early, it could be like, well, I would have thought of that in 3 days if you'd just shut up. Like now it's always going to feel like your joke if I do it.
Exactly. Yeah. You don't that thing I've
Well, the good thing is he can come on the show now that you've asked him, and we can talk about it in a very non-embarrassing environment.
Just like when we had Alex Horn on, and
you called him Alan.
Yeah. He won't come on. He'll be furious. He's still furious. He'll wake up furious this morning.
I should think.
Fighting drunk he'll be when he wakes up. Yes. Anyway, it can't. You don't want people saying I've thought of something you haven't thought of. That's why I hate inventors. Shut up about it. I'm doing a bit of... Am I doing some name dropping? Have I name dropped yet today? I suppose Tim Key's name dropping.
Yeah. Alan Horn, we mentioned.
I was...
the chap from the Kaiser Chiefs.
Yeah, I was... Oh, yeah. I was talking to Charlie Brooker this week.
Nice.
Lovely.
And I noticed something which... it's something I'm not that happy about.
Oh, no.
With the English people. I noticed, I didn't pull him up on it, but he says...
Brexit.
He says...
What if he's listening?
He says cigarette.
All right.
Instead of cigarette.
That's a bit 90s of you guys, having a cigarette. He says cigarette.
Do you know when... I blame David Bowie, basically, for it. Do you remember Time Takes a Cigarette? I'm sure everyone in England said cigarette with the stress on the et. Yeah. And I still do. But now people have started saying cigarette. And that's wrong. Okay?
I'm finding it weird to listen to.
Why?
Can
you hear the difference?
I can hear the difference.
Not very well, no.
You can't.
No, I know. So it's like you would say, cigarette is how one would have previously
That's
said
how
it.
English people
Whereas now
say it.
It's the slightly more poetic, as you say. It's
I
David
think it's
Bowie's
an American thing.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Yes.
You haven't done the second one, though.
Well, sorry, cigarette. Cigarette. No, cigarette. Cigarette.
That's in Time Takes a Cigarette.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard the song.
You should say Time Takes a Cigarette. But it doesn't.
It's what I believe my father would have called an American corruption.
There you
Much
go.
like invite versus invitation.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
He's a lovely man. And very talented. It hasn't put me off him. Sometimes I've been working out recently. As you get older, no, not that. As you get older, you've got less time, so you need to work out. You need to get into not liking people quicker.
Yes.
So
a filtering process.
Yeah. So there's a few key words that put me off people. Now, generalisation.
Oh, what are they then?
Well,
Atheist.
I've told you part of it. No, I don't. That's a way of life that puts me off.
I like
people.
that, though.
If I was put off by every atheist, I really would have no... actually, that
Frank.
explains it.
I'm going to say in response to what Al said, a word that puts me off people, which is touche.
Oh, yeah.
A man said that to me once, didn't get past date one.
Well, a guy said to me the other night...
sleazy.
He said, thanking you. Oh, no, come on. Come on. Anyway, my main... I'm sorry, the Fez is burning a hole in my...
I want to know what the word is.
Well, it's actually... It's almost a grammatical. It's to do with plurals.
Okay. Anyways.
I'll come back.
Skinner, Dean and Cochrane. Together, The Frank Skinner Show.
Absolute Radio.
Yes. So, it's to do with plurals.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like when it's more than one of something.
I know what plurals are.
Okay, I'm
yeah.
just helping everyone out.
It's very pluralistic of you.
And I suppose they're at both ends of the scale. It's when someone says, I'm going out for a few beers, that really puts me off them.
Why?
Because beer, I'm happy with, but something about beers...
Really?
I think is broken Britain to me.
What to do with the fact that they're planning on getting drunk?
No, because beer obviously can be expanded to an enormous amount.
So but I'm going out for a few beer.
Had a couple of beers. I'm going out. If you're going to say it, go out for some beer. No one ever said that.
You would prefer them to use the fashion singular,
well,
like a jean.
So.
Have a few beers. And the other one, which is at the other end of the more at the toffee-nosed end of the scale, is when people say they like film rather than films.
Oh yes, I don't like that.
No, I know then that person will never be my friend. so we can save each other a lot of time.
Yeah.
Film. And if you're unsure, hand someone on some sort of pretense, hand them your jacket to hold for a second. And if they hold it in such a way that there's a high risk that stuff can fall out the pocket, then they can never be my friend. No foresight, you see.
That's a friendship deal breaker. I'm not a big fan of methinks either.
Oh yeah, methinks. That's yeah. I don't mind it in Shakespeare.
Yeah,
no, in everyday
I don't
life.
mind exactly. If someone from the Tudor or medieval period used it, I wouldn't judge.
But how often do you meet those people?
Yeah, especially in a world where we've got iPhones and Siri to do our thinking for us. We don't need methinks anymore, do we?
Social comment. I'll tell you what, you will reprimand me for saying things like, I always say Star Wars.
Yes.
And you say it should be Star Wars, is that
Indeed.
right?
Yeah.
Or
most people say that.
Stephen Gerrard.
Stephen Gerrard?
Yeah.
That's weird, Frank. Makes sound like a cabaret act.
But haven't we all got those? I had when I was as a kid, I was obsessed with American comic books, and me and my cousin used to read them, and he, world's finest, he always called world's thinnest. Always. And I'm on about into our teens. Now, people must have corrected him, but people stick with him.
Yeah.
Superman's girlfriend was Lossie Lane. Where did he get Lossie from that? I got attacked the other way. I mean, verbally attacked. I said, I said waft. There was a certain waft of perfume.
Yeah.
And this young woman said to me, "What did you say?" I said, "It's just sort of waft." She said, "It's waft."
Yeah, I would say waft.
I said, "Oh, maybe it's a sort of, regional thing." I say, you say waft, I say waft. Let's call the whole thing. And she said, "No, it's just wrong." So...
Well, it stays with you. I was in a bank queue once, and the gentleman behind me, I must have been about 18, he referred to me, he was angry with me. We had an argument, we had a disagreement of some sort over the queuing process, and he referred to me as a feisty Category C swear word. And for the rest of my life, I've pronounced it feisty because of that man.
Oh, see, I'd have thought that would have put you off it if you associated it with him.
I don't think I'd encountered it that often, and I just thought, well, that must be the right way.
Feisty.
Not realising it was a sort of a street pronunciation.
Oh, was it? Oh, I see.
I got condemned for saying bumping cars the other week.
Bumping cars?
Yeah, apparently can't call them Dodgems now.
Okay.
Yeah, I've always thought them as Dodgems.
Really?
Yeah.
But some are very simple about bumping cars. The bumping cars, I think if you did meet someone from medieval times, they'd get that.
Yeah. They'd be
Dodgems. You're not trying to dodge them, are you? You're trying to ride into them. Ergo. Bumping cars.
Ergo is one of mine.
Sorry, it's all gone a bit. Is that one of yours?
Yeah, it is now.
Oh, okay. You're having that? Ergo. You're a bit late review on Ergo. I think it is.
Methinks.
What is it like? It's hot in it. Is it hot? It's really hot. I'm really clammy. I need...
Clammy.
I need, you know those little mini fans you can get? I need one of them on a stick about 18 inches long.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes, have those in white mischief. Mischief?
Don't be ridiculous. Mischief.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
On the subject of everyone pronouncing something a little bit weirdly,
Yeah.
I think I might do it with the word Wednesday. Because my mate Dan always says that I'm pronouncing the middle bit. That
Yeah, you don't.
You show the D a lot of love.
I think that might be... Is that unusual?
I'd say Wednesday.
And I'm saying Wednesday.
But I think you're right to say
Yes.
that.
Well, in
I'm
the
fine
same
with
way
that.
that the R in February should be pronounced,
I think
and
I
rarely
do that
is.
as well.
Yeah, well, you're such a stickler for detail, Al.
Yeah, I mean, I even pronounce silent letters. It goes right to a fault, actually.
As I think I've pointed out before, my dad used to say etiquette for etiquette.
Oh, did he?
And Somerset Maugham, the writer.
Oh, but I kind of love that.
Yeah. But,
Hopefully nobody will rule out friendship with me based on it.
Oh, I had an idea. You know, occasionally I come up with an idea for an invention. We should have a jingle for an invention, because everyone, I think, has got one good invention in them.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I got... How about this?
Morning, Tokyo.
They're an inventive people.
Maybe a robot invention or something.
They invent elephant socks. They invented, did they? You know elephant socks? No. Those things that Japanese, you see the schoolgirls wear those really big socks. You
yes,
think,
I used to wear
get some
those.
socks that fit you. They're called elephant socks to look like that.
So what's the invention then?
I had an idea. I was thinking of. I saw someone taking their dog for a walk.
I wanted to know, Al.
Kind of moving swiftly on air there.
Oh, sorry.
Taking the dog for a walk, and the dog was going. And the last dog I had was the same. They really pulling on the lead. I'd kill for one now, just to get me up hills.
Yeah.
But yeah, that thing's so annoying when you go out. And my idea was, if you could bring in ear piercing for dogs.
Just
And
waiting
then-
for the switchboard to light up.
And then you can connect the lead to the earring, and then the dog wouldn't pull.
What do you mean?
I think they might still pull.
Well, they might.
They wouldn't pull if
hang
it
on.
was on their earring.
Let's investigate this.
Oh, God knows I've cleaned this idea up quite a bit.
So the difference, Frank, in your mind between the neck and the ear is what? That it would be a
Well, look, we can all. If I put a
legislation.
collar, I find when I'm wearing a studded collar, I can basically lean my own weight into it, and it'll take it, because your neck will take quite a lot of
will.
stuff. But if I couldn't lean, my earlobe will take virtually nothing.
Right.
Maybe I've just got weak earlobes. You know, but I think if I had a chain in my ear, I would not pull. I would walk gently, because I know the risks.
Well, it depends on the dog, Frank. I mean, with the Basset Hound, you know, they've got a big ear.
Well, that'd be like having one of those extended leads with a basset. I honestly think it could revolutionise dog walking. I mean, these people who dog walk for a living, you see them with 7 or 8 dogs.
Oh,
yeah.
You could have like the bitch in the middle, and then have all her nipples pierced. And connect all the rest of them like a big wagon
Stop
wheel.
him.
Like a massive dog wagon wheel.
Stop him.
No, but they only need one lead. Think of the money you've saved.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. Text the show on 81215. Go on. How many texts we had this morning? 2?
No,
We
Come
had a
on.
lot more than that. But
I've
a
just
lot
not
of
read
it's
them.
praise.
Follow
Bless
the
you.
show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio. Email the show via the Absolute Radio website. Daisy, did you sneeze? That's the least professional thing that's ever happened.
Oh, come on, you can't help her bodily functions.
I was more concerned she was going to hit her head on the camera and on the return journey from the sneeze, you know.
Now, listen, Davy Lewis has been in touch. His location, would they put their location, Frank, on these emails?
Do they?
Normally they might say Lewis or West Bromwich. He says in the kitchen. Okay. So he's that type of a character. When I was in Ibiza, I saw a chihuahua with its
Is he
ear
a personal
pierced.
trainer? It's all personal trainers ever talk about is when they were in Ibiza.
Oh, really?
Do they?
I don't have one, but if you're in a gym and you hear someone talk to their personal trainer, they'll all be saying, "Yeah, when I was in Ibiza," and
Yeah.
who wants that? Shut up.
Well, hear Davy Lewis
Sorry.
out. When I was in Ibiza, I saw a chihuahua with its ear pierced.
There you
He
go.
didn't have a lead attached to it, though. I may have had a couple of shandies.
Oh.
Oh, see, I don't think it was a chihuahua. Could have
Well,
been
he said
Gollum on his holidays.
he said he did. Well, no, what he's saying is he may not have had a lead attached to it. But we had someone else saying, why not just be a responsible dog owner? This is 457, and train your dog properly so it doesn't pull. It's not hard. It just takes a little bit of effort. If you're too lazy to do that, buy a halting, which does the same as your idea without the cruelty element.
Hold on, what? Just a minute. The pierced dog ear lead attachment. I don't see what the cruelty element. That is training your dog not to pull. That's the point.
No.
The
'cause
dog will
there would
feel a
be-
little bit of oh no, I'm not doing that again, and that's him cured.
I don't think that would work.
Come on.
And I think I
dogs.
do have a halting.
I know
Well,
for my
dogs.
dog.
Do you have a halting?
I think so. Not for me.
What do you feel
We just go with my
What is
pierced
a
ear.
what is a halting?
I don't know. I think it's a
You don't
type
know.
of
We
lead that they're
can't-
less likely to
There's
pull
a
on.
whole new dog world now. It's not like the Shep days when you would
Very
let them out
different.
for 4 days and they
Give
just
them chocolate
have
and all that
mysterious
stuff, yes.
adventures.
So what's a halting?
I don't actually know what halting.
It's a type of lead where the strap kind of goes under their neck and they don't strain against that.
Frank, that sounds very you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think that's what it is anyway.
Sometimes you used to get those like they go across the chest type.
Well, Ray has a
Right.
harness,
Yeah.
and he loves that harness.
A harness. Okay.
Yeah.
We've also
Have
had
you
the,
considered-
Don't say it like you've never used a harness before.
You considered a little cart. sorry, Al.
we've also had an idiotic eureka moment. When I did my trawl this morning, this just proves how much fun we've already been having. That I haven't read you any of my trawl in the first hour.
We should explain that an idiotic eureka moment
Yeah.
is when you get something late, when something that everyone else has got. The example I always give is in the BT adverts, Maureen Lipman played a woman called BT, and it never
Yeah.
occurred to me that she was called BT because of that.
Well, we've had this email from Ed Hinchcliffe. Dear Frank, Emily and Alan, thought I needed to share with you an idiotic eureka moment I experienced this morning. This was last night that this email was sent. I've been using computers for over 20 years with little clue as to the origin of the term QWERTY keyboard. Whilst having a cup of tea at work this morning, I happened to glance at the keyboard of my computer and noticed the letters QWERTY appear in sequence on the top left-hand corner. Everything suddenly
Wow.
became clear.
Brilliant.
3 exclamation marks. Am I the only person to not know the origin of the QWERTY?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
you are it.
We all know QWERTY.
Yeah, I knew QWERTY.
Hinchcliffe! It's me, QWERTY! I've come home now. Oh, let me into your keyboard. Sorry. Yes, that's where QWERTY comes.
Yeah.
But that's what's great about the idiotic eureka moments is that everyone else goes, what, you didn't know that?
And there's always one. By the way, you were asking about bumper cars earlier, Frank.
Yeah.
And Alan in Watford says
Bumping.
they used to be called bumper cars because we deliberately bumped each other due to health and safety gone mad. You're supposed to dodge to avoid whiplash, etc. Hence, they're now called dodgems.
Oh, I see. It's a health and safety. So now that
Yeah.
when we're out of Brexit, we'll be able to call them bumping cars again.
Yeah,
Out of Brexit, you know what I mean? Out of
yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
it's called. What's it called? The EU.
EU.
That's it. I've already forgot what it's called. It seems like
Well,
a
that's
dot
showbiz.
in the rear view mirror. Yes. So that's good. Oh, can I thank Alison Watts, by the way, who sent me 2 vintage Doctor Who magazines. I was on Room 101 in a see-through folder as well, which she didn't want back apparently.
Who's the cover girl, Davros?
No, the cover girl is Elizabeth Sladen.
I know Elizabeth Sladen.
Do you?
Well, not personally, but I mean, I know her work.
Yes.
Lovely.
It was a whole feature on her. It's a holiday special.
Is it?
In fact, yes, I'm thrilled to bits, but thank you, Alison. Number 838. Reader 838.
The Frank Skinner Show. Listen live every Saturday morning from 8 on Absolute Radio.
I had another idiotic eureka moment emailed. Winnie the Pooh equals we need a poo. That is all.
We need a poo.
Al, and then it says, I know Al will be the email trawler man. NB praise redacted.
Yeah. We need a poo.
I don't think that's correct.
A.A. Milne didn't think like
we
that.
Need the poo.
A.A. Milne, he was a very nice man. Very, very nice man. The trouble is with that is, how often in life does one say we need a
Only the Queen.
The Queen might say it, but people
Margaret Thatcher might have said it.
It tends not to be a community. I mean,
endeavour.
people aren't timed like that. Maybe when women live together. Who knows?
It's me.
I agree. I don't think it is.
No, I don't. No.
But a good try.
There's a couple of people
Nevertheless.
having an idiotic eureka moment as we speak with the Moore and Lipman as BT.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah, Lisa, I'm not ashamed. I'm just pleased it's come to light.
Well, it is. It's better than don't put your ponds under a bushel,
No.
especially not Gary Bushel.
And then we've got, I think we may have had this before, Paul Wood. He says...
Do you know Paul Wood? No, but thanks for the tip.
A friend of mine was putting HP sauce on their sausage sandwich. When I asked him why it was called HP sauce, he had no clue. I said, what is the name of the building shown on the bottle label? They looked blank and after a long pause said Big Ben. I don't get it. I like that, friend.
You can't call it BB sauce. Okay.
No.
What else?
Well, I tell you,
What's that noise? Can
I
you
think
hear
it's
that?
just some drilling.
I might be a
Okay.
drone.
Okay.
It could be
Drone at the
drone.
window.
Could
No,
be a
I
drone.
tell you who's been busy this week, Frank. Trumpelstiltskin.
Oh, yes.
It's almost like the heat's been off him
Donald.
and on someone else. Anyway, he claimed this week that the noise is getting louder. They're here, Frank. He claimed...
I've been waiting my whole life. I'd be one of those people on top of the building in Independence Day, holding up the sign saying "Welcome to Earth" before they zap me into a melting.
You'd be one of the Innocenti. I think you'd embrace the aliens, wouldn't you?
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah. I think you'd get on with them.
Be glad to embrace anything at my age.
Anyway, he claimed this week that he invented the word fake. He said, it's one of the greatest words of all time that I've come up with is fake.
Does he mean fake news, the phrase?
No, he actually said the word fake.
Okay.
He said, I guess perhaps other people have used it over the years. And then he said, my favourite, I've never noticed.
Well, this is a bit like my dad claiming that the tune to Winter Wonderland was stolen from him.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he said he wrote a song when he was a kid, not write it, but he made up a song called You Can Be More Happy If You Try. You can be more happy if you try. He said, I was always walking around singing it, and obviously someone heard that and stole it for Winter Wonderland.
Yeah.
It's fairly unlikely. He grew up in a pit village in the northeast.
You don't think there are any music moguls walking
No,
past?
you don't. You don't get like Hollywood guys going past on a small stand-up piano on wheels. Anyway, so I like
he
that,
invented fake.
though. Okay.
Are there 3 less credible words in the English language at the moment than Donald Trump claimed? I think it's just got no power, has it? Donald
Also,
Trump
when he
claimed.
says, I've never noticed that, I've never used anyone using the word fake before, I find that very hard to believe.
Yeah.
I think...
If you know what I mean.
Yeah. I think he has taken... sorry, that sound is a bit off-putting, but I'm a professional. I
Is
shall
there
carry on
burglary
because
going on?
nothing can stand in the way of comedy. I think that he has certainly pioneered the phrase fake news. I think
Yeah.
it was around, but he has picked it up and he has run
Yeah.
with it.
Yes.
A bit like the way Bruce Forsyth didn't invent either nice to C or U. But I think it's the skill of rearrangement that made it into something really special. And it's in a way that "Come on, dollies, do your dealing," which is his catchphrase on The Price is Right. Or
Donald Trump's.
Play your cards right. Bruce. You can't... If I said to Sarah and Daisy in here, "Come on, dollies, do your producing," there'd be an atmosphere.
If not a legal follow-up, I should
Whereas, exactly. Whereas,
some sort of retribution.
nice to see you nice, timeless.
Yeah.
Absolutely timeless. But no, I think he's wrong about inventing fake. But I mean, I must have meant fake news.
He said fake.
Okay. By the way, I looked up an article about Donald Trump this week, and I had that thing that comes up, 404.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the error.
What's that?
I don't know what that is.
Why is it 404?
And also, what I like about it is the formality. An error has occurred.
Yeah.
In the past tense, it's happening now
Yeah, but
on my
don't-
screen. An
but
error is happening.
I'm fine with them telling me that, but don't say 404 an error as if I know automatically.
Yeah.
Maybe they keep their errors in room 404. Maybe it's some
We're going to get the techies in now.
satellite TV show in which celebrities put things that have gone wrong while they've been looking up websites into a room, mysterious room.
If any techies do get in touch with us to explain error 404, could you also get in touch and explain the other 403 as well?
Well, exactly. How many
work
errors?
our way right through them.
Yeah.
I'm glad you've seen it as well.
We're ready.
I thought I'd invented error 404.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Before we return to the Donald, may I just intervene with some website update news? 404.
I didn't want to Google error 404. I think the whole thing could explode.
You're right. Don't go down that wormhole, as they say on American podcasts. 404 is the status code returned as part of the HTTP, the protocol used to communicate with web servers.
Wow, God.
That little thing you put in at the beginning before the website, everyone.
And it means resource not found. There are a number of status codes defined by HTTP, starting at 100, but most of them are handled automatically and not shown to the user.
Oh, it's getting me a little bit hot.
I don't want to know. It's like Darren Brown. I don't want to know how it's done. But why start at 100 anyway?
Well, if you could let us know why start.
No, don't.
Oh, go on.
It's already too technical. So there is no 403.
Don't believe so.
There's no 1 through 403.
Yeah.
It's like the Mambos, which I think David Baddiel once pointed out. What happened to numbers 1 through 4?
Did he say 1 through 4?
He did.
He might have.
Did he say across the pond? And the Big Apple?
He didn't say the States.
Good.
I don't like the States.
So,
Rumpelstiltskin.
yes.
We were talking about.
I like the idea of inventing. I suppose people do invent words, don't they? I never heard ginormous until Terry Wogan said it.
Oh.
Do you think that could have been his word?
Oh, wow.
The old DG.
Great.
Yeah. Happy days.
I like to think
For him.
I popularised Well Done.
I think
Yes.
we did.
I mean, only on this show, admittedly. I wasn't the first person to say it, but I seized upon it and turned it into a word, much like Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think...
It was said as a mistake by David Williams, I believe it was. He meant to say congratulations and well done, and then it was seized upon
So it became a thing.
by Jonathan Ross, and then I thought, no, actually, I'm going to make that a thing now. It's a word.
I seem to have picked up and run with who knew
You do.
about things.
You are good at who knew.
That's a weird one. And of course... correzione. See, I don't know if correzione is actually Italian.
I don't know either.
No, it sounds a bit like, But all good fun. That's what I say.
I don't think I came up with it. I think other people might have used it before me, but I'm not sure. but I've definitely popularised "What's up?"
Yeah.
I don't think anybody.
It does ring a bell.
Yeah.
I'm not sure anybody used it before
rings
me,
a bell.
really.
And then, of course, the late review.
Yeah.
But still, I had a very good use of a phrase. Now, maybe this is commonly used now, but Ivana Trump's written a book about
Yes, raising
Donald,
Trump.
and has been talking about him. And a publicist for Donald Trump said it was just self-serving noise, and I like that. I like someone's speech being just dismissed as noise like that. That's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's inhumane.
Oh, that's fine.
Oh yeah, don't mind a bit of that. What she needs is the Pierce Deer and the lead.
Yeah. Sorts them out every time.
And she
Very
wouldn't be.
cool.
I interviewed her once, you know.
Did you?
Did you?
Ivana? How
Oh.
did you find her?
Well, we went to the Café de Paris after,
Lovely.
and I thought she was going to be a crazy. Not just
What, there
me,
was an after party?
A group of us,
Yeah.
and I thought, you know, she was. I thought she'd be a party girl, having, you know, had her life.
Mm-hmm.
But in fact, everyone was up, you know, boogieing, and she just sat there quite miserable. So
Oh.
I said, Ivana, dance with somebody. Wanna feel to hate somebody.
Is that just an elaborate setup? So
It
you
was
could
a
say
very
that.
elaborate setup.
Totally elaborate. I did interview her. I'll tell you the truth of it. After this, I didn't say Ivana, dance with somebody.
Frank Skinner.
On Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
We've had a missive in. Hi, Frank. According to an interesting BBC article, 404 has become geek slang for a clueless person. A clueless person. Clueless person.
That's I like that.
I like that.
Someone's a bit page not available.
Someone's a bit 404. And also, Oyster card error codes, e.g. 35, where insufficient funds are on the card, that now means penniless. That's Clive in Letchworth.
Do you think the Queen says, "Can someone get me a cup of tea?" And they say, "Sorry, but we're 404. Page not available."
Well, that's like in Nigeria, where I enjoyed that. The dash system, which is the bribery system,
Oh, is that what it's called?
was ruled out. So with a code, it was something like 416. So it's now called 416.
So that's what they call a bribe.
Yeah, that's what they call a bribe. So I think that's the numbers.
You'll
Have
need
to
a
check with my
416. Well, why do we even use letters at all? Let's just use numbers. We're already doing it with people that text in. I mean, so I interviewed Ivana Trump. I mean, really, I interviewed her. And
Didn't go dancing.
she was we didn't go dancing. She was all right. I tell you what, the thing that sticks in my mind more than anything. This was in the 90s. She may well have changed. We all have. She needed a bit of border control on the lipstick.
Oh, I'm glad you said lipstick there.
Yeah.
You know, I just panicked.
You know,
You know what I mean, Frank.
it went a bit. You know, when people. I mean, we've all given our lips, and you know.
I believe it's called bleeding.
Is it? And some people have very narrow lips. I like, you know, the sturgeon, the Scottish sturgeon lady.
Yeah.
And
Kenneth Branagh.
And some
Kenneth
people
Branagh,
have,
Morton
you know,
Harkett.
the ample lip.
No lips, Morton Harkett.
Who's an example of an ample lip? Every glamour model in Britain.
Yeah.
They have a big lip.
But I mean, obviously, your Jaggers, your obvious
Yes.
example. But she, I think, I wouldn't say she had a narrow lip. She wasn't satisfied. She was having a lip sync battle.
So was she going over?
So she'd gone
the
up. So the
line?
lipstick kept going. Yeah, she'd gone over a metre, as the football managers say. Yeah, and I found myself staring at that a lot. But she was an international skier at one point, so I wondered if it might be balm.
Was she really?
She
Yeah.
was. It was a
Wow.
bit Heroes of Telemark, yeah.
She was, yeah. And it's been downhill all the way since.
Very good.
Oh, sorry, everyone.
No, I like that.
But yeah, so it could be she might keep balm and carry on. Is there anything worse than a spoof of Keep Calm and Carry On?
The actual thing
Yes,
of
the
Keep
actual-
Calm.
The actual thing.
No, I've got something. Keep calm and drink Prosecco.
Oh,
Come on.
I know.
If someone buy me that tea towel, forget it.
Do you think Donald Trump's would be Keep Calm and Carry On? And of course, the British Hoarding Society is just Keep.
The Frank Skinner Show on Absolute Radio. Back Saturday morning from 8. Tune in live for the full Frank experience.
Absolute Radio.
yeah.
Frank, Warren Collins from Kent has been in touch.
Oh,
yeah.
was her.
Yeah.
Frank, don't you just hate it when people speak to you in the third person and greet you, how's Frank?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
And
do you not
that's
like
Frank.
that?
Or whether you say to someone, I'm going to Edinburgh next week or something, they talk, and after it they say, anyway, say hello to Edinburgh for me.
Oh.
Am I going to do that? What sort of town hall? Town hall, do you?
Any personalising of the town or location I don't like.
That's a weird
People
thing.
do it on Twitter. I'm afraid comics do it a lot on Twitter.
Do they?
Yeah.
What, like,
Or they'll say,
Hello,
you know,
London.
leaving you now, Edinburgh, it's been real, you've been amazing, something like that. I think, no,
Oh.
it's a town you've been in. Come on
I
now.
think we're fine, it's a city.
it is.
A city, I'm sorry.
He knows
Got in
all the
there.
cathedrals. He
No.
knows all the
Oh,
cathedrals.
I
that's
should've-
true, that is
I
right.
should have left that because 50 pence a text.
We could have got that in.
No, I'm trying to save on behalf of our people.
Now,
Yeah.
listen, this book's called Raising Trump,
Yes.
that she's wrote-en, as I believe James
She
Harries
would-
calls it.
She wouldn't have called that if she was English, would she? She wouldn't have called it.
No.
No. So it's called Raising Trump, and there's quite a few revelations in it that I enjoyed. I mean,
Yeah.
I haven't read the whole thing, mind.
Don't think we need to, but there's
No.
some great,
Some great
Moments.
extractions,
fantastic.
including the fact that they're real sticklers for time and punctuality, the Trumps. So much
Respect.
so that one of the children, I believe it was Donald Jr., Alan, was left on the tarmac
Love it.
because he was late for the flight.
Absolutely love this story.
Do you approve?
I mean,
It could have been
spare the rod
either.
and spoil the child. I've said it for years.
It could have been either Huey, Dewey, or Louie, I suppose.
Finally, disciplining a child gets some media coverage. Finally.
I can't hate the man for being on time, Donald Trump. This is one of it. Occasionally, you hear a thing about him where you think,
Yeah.
oh, and that's a good one.
Leaving
mean-
the child on the tarmac.
No, but
The bit that gets me is he can't have been left on the tarmac. Like, would he have been at the plane and them going, move, the wing's going to clip you. We're turning the plane now. Step back a bit.
the bloke, the bloke with the table tennis bats who tells them when to move off. Move back a bit, son. I'm going to wave me table tennis.
They're going to
I
scorch
see
your
him
hair
in a
second.
little mini suit on his own.
What I like the idea of Donald Trump looking out the window and seeing Donald Jr. disappearing into distance, standing on those steps. You know, the sort of steps to the plane being wheeled away.
All because he was 5 minutes late, apparently.
Not 5 minutes late, not on time, because Donald Trumpelstiltskin says on time is 5 minutes early. That's what Ivana Dance with
Well,
Somebody
I
says.
operate on Lombardy
She
time.
says the Trumps see early, they see on time as 5 minutes early.
Yeah, but I want to know how come this child is arriving on its own.
Yeah.
Like
You might
Richie
wonder.
Rich in the back of the limo.
Yeah, you carry on, Dad. I'll catch you up later. How old are you again? 7. Okay. I guess that's fine. So, yes, I didn't understand that at all.
Yeah, we need some closure. What happened to the child? Did
What
he then
happened-
just
what
live in the airport for a year or something until they came back?
Well, it's not
Yeah,
like
like-
it's affected him adversely, as we can all see. Lovely family.
Yeah, Phantom of the Airport. He'd be like living underneath the airport
A Tom Hanks film.
with some fabulous idea for an aeroplane that someone had stolen.
She says she talks to Donald. I don't think I'm allowed to do the accent, am I?
Don't
But
know.
which is a shame because it's much funnier. But she talks to him once every 14 days.
Fortnightly.
She has direct number to White House.
Oh, okay. Well,
Apparently.
she's the mother of some of
Yeah.
his children. Fair enough.
I think they would still be in contact.
Yes, I know, Frank, but she took it too far. She said, I don't want to cause jealousy because I'm basically first Trump wife. I'm first lady. Okay?
Yeah.
I think that's quite a good gag. I wish she'd had that kind of material when she was on my chat show.
This is
Frank Skinner. Absolute.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. You can text the show on 81215, follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio, email the show via the Absolute Radio website.
The producer's very tickled by your striptease.
How tickled
Well,
I
not
am.
for the first time.
Remark, I should say.
How very tickled. Can't do that now. Because he still used the tickling stick.
I don't know.
No. What was it, a feather duster?
It was.
Yeah, basically.
That's not a tickling stick.
Well,
It's from a hardware store,
It's upselling.
99p.
I don't think
Upselling
you
now,
could
no.
use it now. No.
Well, it's a bit like, it's gone the way of emu in terms of the appropriateness.
No, exactly. True. Oh, God, comedy's hard time.
It is.
Oh, because you can't use a tickling stick or
Political correctness
emu.
gone mad, Emily.
It's everything. I tell you, it's like trying to be funny through a portcullis.
Yeah.
So anyway, we were talking about Donald Trump, the President of
Donald.
the United States.
Yeah.
Mr. President.
A man who leaves his son on the tarmac for 5 minutes of lateness.
But I bet he was never late again.
That's a good point.
That's what you got to remember.
And certainly
to
not for
lose,
his weekly therapy sessions. He had to have as a direct result of being abandoned on
You
the
don't want
tarmac.
to be having to open up a private jet to let the stragglers in.
Your child.
What about when I was flying back from where did we go? Italy. Yeah, Italy for an England game.
Was it on a PJ?
It was a private jet.
Woo!
Well, I didn't pay for it. It was a
Lovely.
and there was some other comedians, and they were a bit late getting back. So, been trouble at the game. They'd been kept in the ground, and we sat there while the crew said, "We've got to take off now. We can't wait." You know,
Was
this
David
our-
Baddiel with you?
He was with me, but a lot of other comics hadn't. They were still at the ground. So I said, "Well, we've got to wait for them," and I didn't really. But anyway, I did officially. If anyone's writing this down,
Yeah.
and the point is, so we got to take off because we won't get another slot. So they actually took off. They took their luggage off the plane and left that on the tarmac.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's an absolute outrage.
I never believe that and never won't get another slot. I mean, it's the air. It's a big place. Come on,
Good
sort
point.
it out.
Yeah, but you have to land
Just use the
eventually.
excuse.
You can't just come down in a field, private jet or no private jet.
True.
I've had a few private jets in my time, but what do you expect at my age? Now, my favourite Trump news of the week was that apparently he said to someone that he hates everyone in the White House.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
that's
did say
great.
that, yeah.
That's great, isn't it?
It is.
And then he went on to clarify. He said there are a few exceptions, but generally I hate them.
Yeah. And I have to say that I think it's safe to say that he was at that point outside of the White House. I think if he'd been in the White House, he would have said, "I hate almost everybody in the White House," if you know what I mean. Like, still like this guy. Like,
Yeah.
he,
Also,
he loves
Al,
himself. He has.
the thing about Trump all Stiltskin, he seems to be forgetting he hired these people. I mean, these were his choices. He could have just gone with the other guys.
Well, you say that, but I think there's
Staff.
something about his television career that might suggest he's better at firing than hiring.
Oh, yeah.
This is true, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a good firer.
He is a good firer. He's raced through the staff already in his short time in office, hasn't he?
Yeah.
If you think
Well,
about
he's
it.
not the first. I'm sorry, I see what you mean, yeah. I was... I'll tell you something. I don't really have hate in my quiver.
You mean you
I
don't hate anyone?
I can't, honestly. I was asked by a journalist once who, actually, looking back, was probably the closest I got to hating anybody.
I know who that is.
Yeah. Obviously, I don't want to say it on air,
No,
but it
obviously.
was Simon Sebag Montefiore, that now a TV presenter. But he was...
Was he rude to you?
Is he the one with the Jerusalem thing on?
He
there,
was...
isn't he?
Yes, I can't watch it.
He was a bit sneery, I seem
He was
to
very
remember.
sneery about Birmingham in particular.
Oh,
and
that's a shame.
me as well. But yeah, anyway, aside from that, he asked me who I hated. And I said, I just couldn't think of anybody. And I just don't think... I was telling someone about this because I was talking to a couple of guys I know, and one of them said, "Oh, I love Thomas Newman." Do you know Thomas Newman?
No.
No.
He's a film composer.
Okay.
Music,
Okay.
film music. And I said, you don't love him. He said, no, I do. I love Thomas. I said, no, you don't. I said, don't make your love bag too big.
Yeah.
Which is a line I've used before.
I was going to say.
But I was
Classic Skinner.
I was tightening a dog collar at the time. I said, don't make your love bag too big. You only want a few things
That
in your love
sounds like
bag.
a country and western song.
Yeah.
I love it. Don't make your
So-
love bag too big.
Or a bit more with banjos. Don't make your love bag too big. You know you'll regret it and you won't forget it. So don't make your love bag too big. Or
No,
you'll
no.
end up having to sleep with a pig. So I think it's true, though. You shouldn't have too many things in your love bag, or you
Yes.
devalue the things that you truly love.
Yes.
So
Leave some room in that love bag.
I said to, and he said, well, you know, he said, okay. He said, I suppose now that you've made me think, he's actually in my really light bag. I said, that's better. That's more sensible.
How big's your indifferent bag?
Well, I'll tell you what, I asked him,
Mine's bulging.
I asked him which bag I was in his life. And he said, this is what he said, I think you've got 1 foot in the really light bag and 1 foot in the dislike bag. And the other guy said, oh, well, I'd say you've got 1 foot in my love bag. I said, really? Sorry about that. Did I tell you we were human pyramiding on a motorcycle display table that time? No, he said, you've got 1 foot in my love bag, but again, you've also got one in my dislike bag. So,
Well, you're fully in my love bag. My whole radio family's in my love bag.
That's nice.
that's nice, but thank you. What else is in your love bag? One other thing from your love bag.
Oh, let me think. I'd say Alan Bennett's in my love
Alan
bag.
Bennett.
Oh,
What about
good shout.
Al? One thing in your love bag.
Sounds a bit Charlie Brooker then.
There's nothing.
We're going to come back for
Absolutely
this.
nothing.
What's in the cockerel's love bag? 8, 12, 15.
Frank
Skinner.
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
So I've been thinking about what I love during that song.
Oh, what's in your
It's
love
a
bag?
nice song.
What's in your love bag?
I mean, the problem with a question like what's in your love bag is that it feels really easy to go to cliche and go, oh, you know, I love my family, and like you're writing a CV or something.
I'm taking
Like,
that as a...
It's like putting reading on your CV.
Well, that's like collected works of Shakespeare in Desert Island Discs. You can't
yeah,
have
it's a
that.
given.
We'll
Yeah.
take that as a given.
So,
Yeah.
you know, if my family are listening...
Oh, no, sorry, that was a... not a gibbon.
It was
my family are
it was
listening.
funky though.
Let it be
was.
known that I love them, but the true answer is butter.
Really?
It's nice, isn't it? Like,
Lovely.
my first thought was malt loaf with butter, but then I realised actually it's the butter. That's the bit that's really nice.
That's a
isn't
good...
it?
I like that.
That's a good love.
Hey, what's in Frank's love bag?
I'm just thinking we could have discovered what was in Al's love bag by holding a buttercup under his chin.
We got butter. We got Alan
I
Bennett.
wonder if the Nazis, when they were questioning people and they wouldn't tell them that they liked butter, they had that always had that up their sleeve.
I don't know if that was one of their questions, was it? I've never seen their question sheet.
Like and see butter.
I think they had other fish to fry.
Well, if they asked me that, I'd be edgy
Would you?
as to what was coming
Like
next.
and see butter.
Yeah. Hold on.
They
Hold
said,
on. Where's this going, guys?
Das ist verboten.
What's in my love bag? Well, you know, Doctor Who,
Oh, I would say you, yeah.
Wild West, the Wild West,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
comic books.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Recently, Anglo-Saxon history has been
Ooh.
tugging at the strings of my
nice.
love bag.
Oh well, I've got the Tudors in mine, obviously poking
Oh.
out.
But so, you know, but I just think it's. I don't mind being in people's dislike bag as well. I think that's just life.
Really?
It's life, isn't it?
Yeah.
Life. Life. Come on. Ooh, life.
She gets a lovely outing on this show, Desiree.
Ooh, life.
We had a missive in via the Twitter forum from someone called Dense Insensibility. He has a thought here called #MyInvention. You can contact any driver by email. This is his invention.
Yeah.
Their reg number is their address. You tell them what you think. Their choice to open mail.
Oh, so it's like an email address.
He said, it's a thought for an invention. I thought of it as a chap clumsily cut me off in traffic.
So a bit like a How Am I Driving, but for everyone. We're all allowed to say...
Exactly, for
you're
civilians.
driving either really well or really badly.
Yeah.
What do you think? Or if you take a shine to someone at the lights.
But that's the trouble with it, isn't it?
Well,
I think it might be misused.
You just reject.
so?
No, you have to decide whether to accept them, and then you could get into a nice conversation. Your choice to open the email is what he says.
I'd quite like to send an email that just said, well, where do you keep your tools overnight?
You're listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
We're talking about our love bags.
Yeah.
Here.
You are.
Basically, your theory is there's only so much love to go around, and don't chuck stuff in.
I think it's great that people have. I don't have a hate bag.
Good
Do
for
you
you.
not?
I honestly don't.
Do you know, I don't think I do these days, Frank. I did when I was younger and foolish.
Mm-hmm.
But
Paul from Belfast has been in touch about his love bag, and he says, in my love bag, Larson cartoons, roast lamb.
Brilliant.
Love that.
Now that, you see,
What a great love
that
bag.
makes them really special.
And I bet there's somebody else in the readership that's thinking, oh, I like Dilbert cartoons and mint sauce. You know, they're similar but not the same.
But maybe love bags would be a great title for a for a dating agency where people you might not tick everything in someone's love bag, but if you have
certainly not the first date.
Several, no, exactly. You might not have your Sharpie. Anyway, I think that'd be a good way of finding out whether you are compatible, wouldn't it?
Compare love bags.
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
I like chunky knitwear. You like chunky knitwear.
Yeah, I like their second album. What else?
Well, I tell you, we haven't talked about my favourite story this week, which is the macho marsupial.
Oh. I know exactly who you're talking about.
The big kangaroo.
The big roo.
The big boomer.
Wow. He was... I mean, if you haven't seen the big kangaroo... Basically, a bloke just saw one having a... Was it like having a...
He was
swimming?
having a bath.
It was in the creek.
Big. I mean, the shoulders on the kangaroo.
Boff.
Really,
calm down, loves.
Really, obviously,
No,
the slightly unnerving small arms.
He was hench.
Yes, the arms are
skipped
small,
arm
aren't
day.
they?
Yes,
He'd skipped arm day. Do you
But
think
he
that's what the other kangaroos say?
he wouldn't. He will not do a press up. But
Yeah.
He was flexing his muscles like the world's strongest man.
So there's a
Chest and the
photo of this
traps on him. The traps, you know, like the
Is that what they're called?
muscles that go
Yeah.
from the neck to the shoulder.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
They're called traps, I think.
Oh okay.
Oh, man.
I always think of those as the dandruff slides.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. It's interesting though because, as you know, in our new status as Nostradamus FM,
Yes.
where someone sent you the week and said you always seem to be predicting things. Only last week I was talking about, if you remember, Billy Wallaby,
Oh, yeah.
which is what I accidentally called Holly Willoughby. And this week, the world's gone marsupial crazy. That can't be a coincidence.
No, I don't think so.
But it's what a creature.
Yes.
Could
Totally
he have
agree.
possibly been working out?
Well, I
Either
don't
that
think
or
so.
the
I mean,
swimming.
they're muscly characters, the roos,
I
aren't
know,
they?
I've never seen one like that before.
What about when they do those boxing matches?
Oh,
Well,
do they still?
I think-
Well,
Box?
Nobody's taking him on.
I don't know.
No.
Floyd Mayweather.
Well,
It's a real possibility that's the next Floyd Mayweather.
Put enough money on,
fight.
Floyd will be there.
That would it'd be slightly more serious than the last fight.
can you imagine the psyching each other out during the weigh-in?
Exactly. Do they still box kangaroos?
And guess
Don't
what?
think they do.
They do. And you know what that Roo's got on his pouch?
think
Next
so.
gen.
Oh, yeah.
Next gen Roo.
Next gen pouch.
That Roo
is
didn't have a belly pouch on him.
His love pouch? No, do kangaroos still box professionally, 8, 12, 15? It's probably been stamped out by the...
I don't think professionally, but they've got
Like the
it
Health and
in them
Safety
to
Brigade.
box. That's how they fight.
It used to be a big
it?
thing. You could pay.
Yeah.
You could pay to go to watch kangaroo
No,
boxing.
you're all right, thanks.
But, you know...
Are you trying to light up the switchboard today?
No, I'm not. Not at all. I just want to know if it still goes on. And if so, how can I get there?
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So this Roo was discovered by Jackson Vincent,
Yeah.
Okay.
who's a gardener apparently.
Well, I thought he was a solicitor's.
He was taking his dog for a walk, and the reason that the Roo was flexing its muscles in that very macho Simon Cowell-esque manner was apparently they can get quite threatened by dogs. They're a gentle creature.
The Roo.
Yeah.
That one doesn't look gentle. That one
Doesn't look
I
gentle.
Oh
didn't
no,
look-
they are. There are very few fatalities from the Roos.
This is the joy of the animal kingdom, isn't it? That like a big creature can be scared of a small creature, like a Roo that size, 6'5" and weighing 100 kilos plus,
Yeah.
and hench. Whoa, sorry, I got distracted. That Roo can be scared of a dog. Like, I mean, how thick
I
is
know.
it that it's scared of a dog? Ridiculous.
Rather
It's
rude.
like elephants being scared of a mouse. It's stupid.
Is there such a thing as kangaroids,
Oh, they might be
Well,
on the roids.
which is sort of steroid, especially
might
for
have. He
marsupials?
might have some roid rage.
And they get those muscles. They only eat cod, really.
I don't know. Apparently, there's one photo that
Cod specific.
they had.
Did they go to Mr. Cod, the popular fast food shop for kangaroos?
Yeah, how do you know that they only
Cod
eat
you
cod?
like?
The Codfather.
I-
The Codfather.
I know a lot about kangaroos because I was raised in Australia.
Oh.
Thank you.
I've been to Kangaroo
corrected.
Island.
Right.
Have you ever
Did
been
that
there?
help?
I haven't actually. What's it like?
Kangaroo Island is it's an island where lots of kangaroos live.
Did you
See
go
what
to
they've
cod
done
you
there.
like?
And there's a section of it which is like the kangaroo graveyard. And weirdly, when the kangaroos
shame.
know that their time, they're slipping away, they move to that part of the island.
Oh, do they?
Oh, in
to die.
anticipation.
Yeah,
Like
it's
a little
really-
retirement home.
Really?
For kangaroos,
Well, they're not
where they
very
just all
short
drive slower.
period
We're
retirement.
still halfway out.
Right.
Yeah.
Scary. How do they know?
They just
Right.
never-
Clever creatures.
Made me think of when I moved into radio. No, but it's a very spooky thing.
The other thing I love about the Roo is they don't produce any, I'll put this delicately, methane.
They don't.
No.
I bet this guy
I
does.
mean, they're the dream date. Muscles like that.
This guy.
No methane.
Really? I never knew that about the roos.
Yes,
He
it's
must
true.
be. He must be.
We don't know the side effects of kangaroids.
Exactly.
Does he
If
get
he's-
kangaroid rage?
If he's on the
which it might
protein
be?
shakes.
Kangaroid.
That
Kangaroids sound like very bouncy hemorrhoids. If there is such a thing. I couldn't sit down. I slopped down on my chair. I bounced 20 feet across the auditorium.
Frank
Skinner.
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
I know we're talking about the roidy Roo, but
Might not
Frank...
be roids. Might not be roids. It might
No.
just be
Okay.
protein shakes and some sensible compound exercises.
Yeah.
For all we
and
know.
a bit of turbo cud.
Yeah, exactly.
Turbo
284 has been in touch to say, Frank, you'll relate to this. My hate bag consists purely of the number 11 bus in Birmingham.
Oh, I think that goes to Quinton.
How does it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Down the Agley. I think it goes down the Agley Road to Quinton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like a Philip Larkin poem.
It's a night bus, though. So, the night bus can be
Anywhere the
a
night
dark
bus can be a
theatre
bit.
of humanity. I think he used to get my night bus. Kevin Rowland's Dexys Midnight Runners.
Oh,
There you go.
He's worked with them all.
and he,
Australia used to be... It's a place I think of as being very big in the 80s.
Yes. I think you're right about
massive. Remember, it was Neighbours, Paul Hogan.
It has got that David Van Day about it.
Yeah. I saw a show, there's a show called Countries, Where Are They Now?
Oh, yeah.
And it was on there. Still going, apparently. Still going. Still working.
Yeah.
But not like the glory days in the 80s.
No.
I read that there was a quote from an academic who they asked him about he said that they're good swimmers, kangaroos.
Are they?
I thought you were going to say Australians. Late review.
They're good. Yeah, exactly. And it said good swimmers, and I actually wrote this down. It says they have been seen running into the ocean. Running?
Well, do you know what? Makes them even more glamorous and sexy.
I know, but do they do running?
Yeah, they've got big feet, haven't they?
Well, they bounce, don't they?
That's jumping, though.
Yeah?
Running, they must get onto their very tippy toes of their big feet.
It must look like Oscar Pistorius running with those blades on.
A bit more famous for something else now.
I know he's more famous for something else now, but we can skip
Notorious.
over that, can't we?
No, but you're quite right. That's it. You'd have to run like you're on blades.
I think they're on blades.
This creature, you know what? I could believe it of this creature. I've never seen an animal whose chest I wanted to stroke as much as this kangaroo. Look, really, it's like like a lovely seat cover.
I think he might be a kangaroo model or a personal trainer.
Do you know, Al? He's the David Gandy of the Roo community.
I think of him more as Lou Ferrino.
Did he have Frank? Did he have the jeans short with the button intact?
We don't know, because his waist was under the water.
In his swimming gear,
he was being modest, wasn't he?
But I was in Australia once, and I went for we went driving for a few days, just driving around. Mm-hmm. It's the only time in my life I have had to actually say, "Mind that bandicoot." And it always, who'd have thought I would ever say that when I was growing up in a council house in
Smethwick? I don't know what a bandicoot is.
It's a creature.
Oh, is it?
Australian creature.
Another one.
There's all sorts over there. Our place is rife with possums.
They've got the lot.
No,
they have got the lot. Is it the end? I want to talk about whether the news. We had to text.
We did. I just briefly. We had 092. My idiotic eureka moment happened just 3 weeks ago when I found out the word news is an abbreviation for new events, weather, and sport. I don't believe that.
Now, here's your homework. I want to email us this week about whether there's any truth in that, and we'll discuss it next week. Because if that is true, I never, ever, ever knew that. That's a shocker. Shocker for me. You heard it here first, or probably second if you know that bloke. Or woman. So thank you so much for listening this morning. Sarah Champion is up next. Come on. Tim Key would have been on next week if I hadn't have offended him. But thank you again, and bring on the feathers.
You're listening to the Frank Skinner podcast from Absolute Radio. Want your Frank fix a little sooner? Listen live every Saturday from 8 a.m. on Absolute Radio. Across the UK on digital radio, mobile apps, and in London and the South East on 105.8 FM.
Absolute Radio.